Thanks for watching. I'm Margot Kimberg, and this is In the Spotlight, a closer look at a crime novel. Some crime novels have a very distinct sense of place in local culture, and that can add a great deal to a story as the reader can learn about what life is like in a certain place. Let's take a look at a novel like that today and turn the spotlight on Berrick Ford's Dead Water. Detective Inspector Robert Rigo has recently transferred from the Greater Manchester Police to Devon and Cornwall's Major Crime Investigation Team. He's working on familiarizing himself with the new job and new turf when he's sent to Penzance. It seems there's been a serious road accident as well as a woman's body discovered in the water. Student police officer Tamsin Poldu has lived in Penzance all her life and is both excited and nervous to be starting her career with the local police. Tamsin wants to make good on the job, but she won't have a lot of time to settle in as a dead woman's body is discovered on her very first day on the job. She starts to work with the murder investigation team and soon gets a baptism by fire. The dead woman is identified as Jowita Wojciechowski, who worked for a local Penzance family. On the surface of it, there doesn't seem to be a motive to kill her, but the way the murder was committed makes it clear that this was a very personal killing. So the police team has to find out as much as possible about the victim, and that's not going to be easy. It seems that she had her own share of secrets, including her identity. At the same time, Rigo and his team discover evidence of organized crime in the area. Was the murder related? If so, how? And who's involved in the crime ring? As the investigation goes on, the danger gets greater as there are people who will stop at nothing to protect themselves, and Tamsin learns that she's more drawn into the case than she could have imagined. So what are the elements in this novel? What keeps it going and what holds it together? Well, this story is set in Cornwall, and that's very clear from the outset. The physical setting is important to the story, and so is the local culture. There are touches of the Cornish language and the Cornish way of life, and pride and identity, and that's clear. In this scene, for instance, Tamsin is talking to her grandmother about her new boss, Rigo. Her grandmother shrugged. "I'm only being neighborly, him being a foreigner and all." "He's from Manchester," Tamsin said, rolling her eyes. Her gran laughed. "Anywhere north of Truro is foreign to us. Well, maybe north of the Tamar." Penzance is a small town, so there's also the small town feeling about the story. Everyone knows everyone, and that's actually a bit hard for Tamsin since now she's policing people that she knew at school. That's one of the many things Tamsin has to learn. She's very new at the job. And although she's smart, capable, and thoroughly familiar with the area, she's also young and inexperienced, so she makes her share of mistakes. She also has to work at finding her place and fitting in. For Rigo's part, he's more experienced and mature. He's not without fault, but he's a steady presence. He's happily married and the father of 2 children. So readers who are tired of damaged detectives will be pleased to know that Rigo is not one of them. And no, lest you fear the obvious, they do not start a relationship. He sees Tamsin as a promising young cop with a lot to learn, and she sees him as a mentor. The story is told from 2 viewpoints, both in third person past tense, Rigo's and Tamsin's. Through their eyes, we follow the police as they get evidence, interview suspects and witnesses, find connections, and so on. This is very much a detailed police procedural. The story is grittier than a cozy, and the case leaves deep and lasting grief and wounds. Things are not made all better in the end. At the same time, it's not gory or gratuitous. Dead Winter is a distinctly Cornish police procedural. It features a brutal murder, a looming threat of organized crime, and a dedicated police team determined to stop that threat. This has been In the Spotlight. I'm Margot Kimberg. Thanks for watching.